Hey folks, KILT-MAN here. KILT-MAN at your services. How are you all? I hope you're all doing very well. Now, I've just took a bit of time out from, I'm on a quest at the moment. I always get these things crop up during the week. Can you just pop this ring over there? Just drop it in the fire. You know, and everything will be okay. I'll pay you when you get back. Be brilliant. Nothing to worry about. No hordes of orcs and goblins and horrible weird giant spiders in your way. None of that. And betrayals. No, just drop it in the fire. You'll be fine. That's what they said. Well, I'm not even halfway there yet, but hey ho. In the meantime, we have a mystery canvas unboxing to do. Yes, you know him, you love him. It's Steve 007 Smith has done it again. For those of you who don't know who I'm referring to, he's the guy that for years and years and years has been bestowing the KILT Mansion with artwork, which you see bedecking the walls behind me. Movie artwork, be it posters, be it fan created artwork, be it original stuff, and he puts it onto a canvas and he sent it to me with a couple of clues, and I've got to try and work out what it is. Already you guys know more than I do right now, because of the title of the video and probably the thumbnail gives the game away. But right now as I'm speaking to you guys, it's in the box right there, and I'm going to open it and we're going to find out if I'm right. Now, what Steve does, again, the KILT clan know all of this inside out. He will send me a couple of clues, just literally, just message me, and I'll tell you what the clues are. I'll tell you right now, because I'm afraid time is of the essence today, and so this might not be the big Leviathan video I intended to begin with. Says the guy that set all this paraphernalia up and then bedecked himself in Middle-earthian attire. Right, the clues were thus, right? Spirits from the past will save the day. I read that and I went straight away, I know what this is. And he knows, because I got back to him, I don't know what this is. And the other clue was the ending carries one hell of an emotional wallop. Love that word, wallop. It means a wallop, you know. An emotional wallop, really sucker punches you. Really, oh God. Just fucking awesome. I'll read it again. Spirits from the past will save the day. The ending carries one hell of an emotional wallop. Just fucking awesome. Look, guys, you know, even without all of this stuff, are you not thinking the same thing that I have been thinking since it arrived? And it arrived last night while I was in the pub. The Prancing Pony. I just thought, there's only one thing it could possibly be. Spirits from the past save the day. It's the army of the dead from Return of the King. You know, Aragorn is going to be the king of men. The son of Elendil. You know, he is the man. You know, and he goes to the paths of the dead, the White Mountains, and he brings forth, you know, this ghost army who've been cursed by his father. You know, they didn't pledge allegiance to the alliance of men and elves and dwarves to fight, you know, Sauron back in the previous big battles and stuff. And because of that, they got cursed. Like, well, your spirits will never rest in peace until you fulfill your part of the bargain. I'm paraphrasing here, with my son and heir, or my future heir to the throne, the King of Men, the throne of Gondor, which of course we know Aragorn is going to get that. And Aragorn goes into the paths of the dead in the White Mountains, and he does summon them, and he reminds them of, like, you know, what happened. You know, you guys, you reneged, and if you fight now, because Sauron's back and he's got an even bigger army, and we're trusting a little guy like this, little guy with big Ketwig on him, and he's going to put this ring in the fires of Mount Doom. Really? Well, we've got to fight the hordes, the armies, the legions of Mordor. And they're going like, and if you do so, I will give you freedom. And they're kind of like, don't care, mate. You know, we're just spirits. We're all green ghosties living in our mountains. We're all right. We're not going to fight for you. Why should we? And like Aragorn's like, oh shit, thought this could have worked. And they walk out. Well, there's a big sort of earthquake and tons of rubble comes down. And our boys, Aragorn, Gimli, and who's the elf with the pointy ears ones? Yeah, that guy. I forgot his name now. They get out and they witness, oh my God, the Corsairs, the pirates are coming in, and they're in league with Mordor as well. And he's like, Aragorn sinks to his knees. We haven't got anything, you know, but the army of the dead will come forth. I mean, they stand there, the three of them, Gimli, Aragorn, and Legolas. That's the guy, Legolas. And like, just fire a warning shot across the bow. And like, Legolas is there. And like, Gimli just goes, yo, what's your aim? And he fucking kills the guy. And he goes, ugh. And it's Peter Jackson who gets killed. Peter Jackson, who created the entire Lord of the Rings. Huge, you know, massive, one of the biggest movie undertakings ever. And I'm not even thinking about Kevin Costner with his 4-part Horizon, you know, an American saga. You know, I'm not thinking about that right now. But Lord of the Rings is beyond a doubt the biggest undertaking anyone could ever have possibly tried to have achieved. And my God, it worked. But yeah, but Peter Jackson has cameos in all the Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King, and it takes the. It's like, it's a really bad comical death scene, and but the army, the dead, then join ranks. Okay, we're gonna do this, you bastards. As long as we get our freedom out of this, you know, it's always about freedom. Hey, freedom! Fight for it, and they get on the Corsairs, and then you've got the whole thing of Minas Tirith, the final battles on the Pelennor fields. It's just unbelievably action-packed, hugely emotive, very, very highly exciting, exhilarating, and so visually breathtaking. And like, our boys get on the Corsairs, and they arrive. They're at Osgiliath, on the banks there, which has already been taken by the orcs. Can you imagine that, being taken by the orcs? That's going to bring tears to your eyes, isn't it? And they're all there, like bloody pirates. Well, like the orcs are always cockneys, aren't they? Bloody pirates, you know, always late. Hey, there's knife work to be done here, boys. You know, get on with it. And like Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli leap over, and they go like, yeah, okay. We're going to take you down. Oh, aye, you... I've given a different accent now. You and whose army? This army. And all those glowing undead swine. Like an infestation of ants or any kind of insect swarming anywhere. They just lay waste to everything in their path. And you get the huge, big... The payoff to the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, which of course King Theoden had led the charge, which was just... We'll play the music for that in a bit. I'm sorry, what are you saying? Oh yeah, I haven't got that much time, have I? So I've got to open this canvas, haven't I? I've got to open this. Do you know what? Just before doing this, I was handed a cup of tea. A cup of tea. Come on now. Where's that? It's a lighthouse at the edge of the world, facing off another bunch of undead marauders. It's the fog. Fabulous KAB, Adrienne Barbeau. Cheers, y'all. KAB, top of the world. Blair. Because we all know this is what floats Kilty's boat, or Corsair. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, Steve 007 Smith. I shall now get the box, and we shall open the box and reveal what is inside. I'll remind you again of the clues. Spirits from the past will save the day. Now, this is the thing. Without the army of the dead from the White Mountains, Aragorn and the newly formed alliance couldn't possibly win against the hordes and the multitude of Mordor. So they needed these guys. The ending carries one hell of an emotional wallop. The ending of Return of the King has about 10 different bloody endings, and they're all massively emotional. I mean, it's wallopage. It's a complete conglomeration of wallopage, a tsunami of wallops, and it reduces even big tough men like KILT-MAN. KILT-MAN in a kilt, right now, of course, and a fucking cape as well, an elven cape. It ain't a good combination, I can tell you that for a fact. When you're strutting about, it looks great, but when you're trying to sit down and you sit on your cape and it goes and it fucking garrots you. There must have been millions of outtakes during the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit as well, where they've got these bloody capes on and they're buckled around the neck with your little elven clasp and all that. And and they sit down. It's gonna do it every time. Okay. You guys know the drill. The hell was that? A big box turns up. Within here is a canvas on a backing piece of... I'm sorry, I'm hitting another sword there. We've actually got Conan the Barbarian's sword there. The Atlantean sword is down there. There's always swords around here. Within that box, the canvas will be... Because I've had this... I know how the drill works. Like all of these... There's hundreds of canvases he's sent to us. All of which are fantastic. And most of which I guessed correctly. Most of which. Overwhelming majority. And I'm staking all my credibility and respectability on getting this one right. Because I fucking knew right away. I thought that Spirits of the Dead, Spirits of the Past, saved the day. It's the Army of the Dead. Emotional wallop of a climax. It's got to be, hasn't it? I will say other things I thought about afterwards, because your mind starts to wander. I thought of well, hang on, when there are other movies where ghosts come back, and Conan the Barbarian is one of them, because Valeria, played by Sandal Bergman, comes back at the end and saves Conan's ass, and there is the Atlantean sword there, so wasn't lying. And she comes back as a ghost, a spectral vision of a Valkyrie, and smites the other guy, the great big fucking basketball player. Smites, or whatever he played, smites him in the eyes with a celestial blade, and gives Conan a chance to get up again. So I thought, but he's already sent a Conan the Barbarian canvas, and it can't be that. And I thought, well, what other films are there where the ghosts come back and save the day? And I thought, bizarrely, I thought Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, where Nancy's dad, John Saxon, comes floating back, and but it ain't John Saxon, it ain't her dad, it's Freddy pissing about. And it can't be that. Surely? Can't be. Can it? Can it? And there's loads of other examples, but nothing works for me apart from Lord of the Rings and Return of the King. Now, is the canvas in here going to be a kind of like collage of all three movies? Well, I don't know. Is it going to be Return of the King on its own? I'm leaning towards that, because he actually said it's, the spirits of the past. So he's mentioned that if you're doing Fellowship of the Ring, you'd probably bring in oh God, I don't know, the whole Hobbits, small people, and keep it secret, keep it safe. You'd talk about that, and goblins and stuff like that. The Two Towers, you might bring in Christopher Lee, you might bring in Treebeard, there'd be elements there. But Return of the King brings in, well, two things: Shelob and the Army of the Dead. So I'm going with, I'm definitely going with Lord of the Rings, and I think I'm going very definitely with Return of the King. But I'll take a victory if it's anything to do with Lord of the Rings or Middle Earth. So, now I could use this to open it. I could use this. I know, I dropped it before, broke the bloody thing, didn't I? Clumsy bastard me, you know. King of KILT-MAN I may be, but I'm still a clumsy swine. That's Narsil. And of course, Narsil is reforged, remade as Anduril. And that's how he convinces the king of the army of the undead, the army of the dead, to join ranks. And it's as Boromir finds out, you know, broken sword, the sword that cut the ring from Sauron, is still sharp. It isn't. Having said that, if you fell on that, you'd be in a lot of trouble. So, no, I'm not going to open the box with this because it's just, that's a bit of overkill, and it'll probably spear to bits the canvas that lurks within. So, right, now, here we go. Canvas sealed, everything is sealed in. And once you get into it, the canvas itself is actually face down on a piece of card and cellophaned in. So, now these things always open upside down, always. So I'm doing something different. I'm going to turn it round. That's something I don't often do, and it'll still be upside down. Plus, it could be a landscape. So you don't know that. It could be a landscape canvas, or the vast majority have been portrait, but we'll find out. Here's the Battle of the Pelennor Fields now. Theoden's charge, right? Where's that bloody sword? It's half of it's stuffed. Narsil, Andurin. Ski and do. That's what works best. Even that took some doing. Don't often get them. Right, okay. Out comes. Oh, let's just put that over here. Here we go. Totally sealed in. Totally sealed in. Again, it's face down. It could be landscape. It could be portrait. I does not know. I've just twisted the whole thing around, haven't I? So it could be upside down anyway. Or back to front. KILT-MAN. You're such a buffoon. Cheers, Steve. Cheers, y'all. One canvas to rule them all. Okay. I'm saying right now, I'll read the clues again. Well, I would read them out. I lost my paper. Spirits from the past will save the day. This is Steve's words. Spirits from the past will save the day. The ending carries one hell of an emotional wallop. Just fucking awesome. Well, there we go. And you know, if I'm right, it's going to get to me good style, because I've done videos on Return of the King and the music and Annie Lennox singing Into the West, and it's destroyed me numerous times in the past. Ski and do and slicey poo. Okay, I'm going to raise this up in front of you guys like the signal fires across the mountaintops of Middle Earth to raise an army against the hordes of Mordor, as you say. They all adopt a Scottish accent when they say Mordor. Oh yeah, I want to... Actually, that would have been a good bit of music to play it to. That's perfect, isn't it? Let's do it as that. I'm not looking. If I'm wrong, I am going to look like a complete and utter twat. I've never been so sure about something in all my life. And if I'm wrong here, my world will crumble. Like Mount Doom itself. It's fucking... Well, it was upside down, wasn't it? See, now weirdly, sorry, I'm right. Just want to say that right now. I was right, but I don't recognise the artwork at all. But you can see what it's. Oh, by the way, Steve, mate, look at that. Look at the ghostly green on that. Look at that, Aragorn, King of Men. And he's sporting the cape, he's sporting everything. The elven clasp is there. He's looking, Viggo's looking, fucking lean, mean. Mordor killing machine. And looks fantastic. And Anduril is kind of glowing there. But you can see what Steve's getting at. His clues. See, this is it. This is it, folks. Spirits from the past. The army of the dead from the White Mountains, the past of the dead. They're there. That's it. But I didn't expect it to be just Aragorn and him. I've not seen that image before. Who's done that? I mean, there's 1,000,001 different images, obviously, of course. But it's Viggo. It's Aragorn singing at the coronation and the crowning, the marriage and the coronation. I said it was that embarrassing having to do that in front of a lot of people. Oh, wow. I've not seen that image before. You got all... Look. Don't know if you can see that. You've got all skulls in the background there, which is kind of evocative of... I've been talking about Nosferatu a fair bit lately, and I'll talk about it a fair bit more. But in Nosferatu, the Werner Herzog's remake with Klaus Kinski, yeah, it opens up on a crepuscular sequence in the tombs and the catacombs of all the bones and skulls, and that reminds me of that. It is in the movie. In this movie, you've got that as well. Oh, the green. I brought him down. That guy there is there right now, and he glows in the dark. Can you see him? He glows in the dark, that figure. There's a few other Lord of the Rings figures. I've got every single Lord of the Rings figure you can get. Me and my son will discuss, because he's a bigger fan of Lord of the Rings than I am, and I'm the biggest fan of Lord of the Rings in the world. That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. I bought everything you can imagine. The swords, the costumes, the wigs, the figures, all the books. There's, God, I've got every book going about the movie production. And we were saying before, all the figures are up there, but they're in different boxes, and all the helmets have come off, all the arrows and the daggers and the swords are not with the figures, but everything's still there. So we've got to go through it all. And that sounds like a huge project, worthy of a a Middle-earthian quest in itself, but it's going to be fun doing it. Putting it, whose helmet is, no jokes, whose helmet is that? Whose dagger is that? And trying to fit things into people's scabbards and fit them into their hands. But they're all there. These things are all there. But over the years, they all came adrift and all that. Like, but look at that. It's unusual, because to have him juxtaposed with him, that's an unusual image. It's so often, Frodo and Gollum, Sam and Frodo are three illustrious warriors, obviously Aragorn, Gimli and Legolas together. And, various other characters will have their particular brand of imagery. Merry and Pippin will be there, Treebeard will be there. But that's an unusual combination. And Steve, I massively applaud you, because does that glow in the dark? Almost gives the impression that it will do. How cool would that be? And as I was saying before, when they surprised the Corsairs and the army surged forth, "You and whose army?" "This army." And "There's knife work to be done here." And then these guys storm out of the Corsairs. They're ghosts, for God's sake, yet their swords still work. In fact, when in the sequence where they try to summon the army of the dead, and Legolas, because they're going like, we're not asked about you, we're dead and we don't care about you, king of men, bollocks. We're not doing it. By the way, you guys are going to join us, you're dead too. And Legolas fires an arrow and it goes straight through his head, because he's a ghost, for God's sake. But then he rises up, with his sword. But they've got Narsil has been reforged into the full blood, now renamed Anduril. And Aragorn parries, and so he realizes, oh shit. And then they turn into an earthquake and a big landslide and all that. But they realize, shit, he did give us a deal. We can get out of this and rest in peace if we go and follow his orders, because he is a son of Isildur. So let's do this. And they stream off these boats and destroy all the Mumakil, the great big elephants, the big tusks, the big mammoths, with all the other, I forgot the name of the warriors. They all got different names. It's a vast, vast canvas of populations and an entire world that Tolkien created, an entire mythology and multiple histories and going back for aeons and all that. And they lay waste to the remnants of the Pelennor Fields after Theoden's charge has ended up with the death of Theoden himself, and Éowyn battling the Witch King, who is there, by the way, there, figure right there, but in his ghostly form, not the form that he fights as. And he's like, you idiots, whatever, no man can kill me. I am no man. And thrusts the blade right into his fucking gaping maw of a helmet. And he's like, crunches up and dies. And then this bastard here, Gothrog or Gothmog, look at him. He's an antisocial git, is he not? He's been launching catapults into Minas Tirith. His men, his orcs, men. The orcs, the dawn, man's time is over. Now is the dawn of the orc. Ooh, yeah, give me plenty of that. Tortured and deformed. Brilliant. Bring it on. I want to join that fucking battalion. Bollocks. And they've been laying waste to Minas Tirith and all that. And you hear the horn call of the Rohirrim and all that. And that fucking charge. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. Who the hell is it? It should be called the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. Why is it all... Oh, the entire track lining has gone to rack and ribbon. Well, folks, that's bizarre. I can't find the track. It's all gone out of order. Oh, yeah. What a dope. The, as in the battle, with a T. But these guys will come in and say that after their battle ends in like rack and ruin, and Eowyn's got to fight this guy. But up behind him, as she reaches for it, she's took out the Witch King. She's took out the Witch King, for Christ's sake. And she's reaching for a sword. She's knackered and battered and fucking done in. And she's reaching for the sword. And as she touches it, the sword like sort of slides away. And she's like, and this bastard's coming up behind her. And then suddenly he gets taken down by all three. Gimli, Legolas, and Aragorn. All have a slice, have a piece of him, you know. Take him down. Listen to this, though. Listen to this. You had the charge at the end of the Two Towers. But now you get the Red Dawn. An epic landscape. CGI done correctly. The only thing I don't like about Peter Jackson's CG is when he does the flyovers, where it's just it's too video game-ish. But things like this at ground level, with the massively enhanced ranks of soldiery, is just spellbinding. Listen, 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 listen. Howard Shore's music. How Howard Shore went from David Cronenberg's body horror movies to this. The drums. And then I'll go back to the Rohirrim. Listen to the strings. As the charge begins. Sweet spot. Who doesn't want a charge like that? Who doesn't want a gallant last stand? Who doesn't? Who doesn't? In the world the way it is right now, it's coming. It's coming. We can all face this last stand. The world is changing. The turf that KILT-MAN is built on now is threatened. But don't you worry, I'm still here. And I don't care who's coming. No matter what vicious, barbaric hordes are coming my way. They've not met anything like me. I'll just drink whiskey and whatever, do it, whatever. Just give me your best shot. Can't feel a thing. And right now, by the way, I'm a fucking werewolf, you know. Viggo Mortensen, he went on to not more heroic, but more violent roles afterwards with David Cronenberg, as it turns out. History of Violence and Eastern Promises. But it's not. This is what made Viggo, and he's a great actor anyway. I mean, God, anyone sees him. You go back from Aragorn, and you go back to likes of G.I. Jane, where he's playing a Navy SEAL training instructor with Demi Moore, and he does some unspeakable things. I mean, I love Demi Moore. I know US Navy SEALs. I've actually trained and done exercises with Navy SEALs, so I've got a great respect for them. But that film, and Ridley Scott as well, it was political campaigning and ridiculousness, but I still enjoyed the movie for what it was. But Viggo was great in it, I'll be honest. And but if you see him in Carlito's Way, where he's an ex-crim, an ex-associate of Carlito Brigante, you know, Al Pacino, and he's wired, he's in a wheelchair, you know, I can't help, it's Viggo Mortensen, I can't help, and he's doing this Hispanic accent, and you're like, whoa. I mean, obviously, if you watched, I saw Carlito's Way when it first came out, and I thought, well, that's a great actor, but my God, I did not know he was going to be the King of Men, did I not? No. Steve, this is actually phenomenal. I got you, mate, and I'll be honest, in most cases, I have an idea of what I think it's going to be, and then I might sleep on it and then go, oh no, it could be this, oh shit, there's loads of possibilities. And then when I do the video and the unboxing, I go like, I think it's this, but I'm torn between this and maybe a third. And even if I get it wrong, I tend to have mostly when I've got it wrong, which isn't very often, the ones the also rans, I've mentioned what it is in that, so I've just gone off on a different road. I've got things completely wrong in the past, but hey, we don't talk about those. But this, I've never been more absolutely convinced that I knew what it was, and it was from the first. Spirits from the past will save the day. Them guys. What I didn't expect was it was literally just going to be Aragorn and him. But what an image that is. Look at it. I'm going to the pub after I've done this video, and I'm wearing my cape, but I can guarantee you it will not look like that as I'm swishing down the road to the boozer. I'll be tripping over the bastard, I'll be in the curb, there'll be a sudden gust of wind and it'll go over my head and all that, as the kilt often does. So I'm actually braver than Aragorn, because I've got a kilt on as well, you know. I've just thought of something else. Gimli. Who's like, no, like, fuck these guys, you know. John Rhys Davies, who's Welsh, but doing a very Scottish accent as Gimli for some unknown reason. And at the end, after they've killed all the Mumakil and all the warriors on the plains of the Pelennor Fields, and like they come up to Aragorn, and he's like, yeah, this guy is kind of like, you know, yeah, we did what you asked, and you're part of the bargain. And like Aragorn goes like, yeah, I really. Oh yeah, I took it back, didn't I? Aragorn's singing again. Shut up with you, King of Men. Give us a second here, singing your praises. He goes, yeah, I release you, you know, rest in peace, blah blah blah. And like Gimli just goes like, bad idea, you know. You know, very handy in a tight spot, these lads. Even though they're dead. And it's like, keep them, we need an army with us, like, you know. But these all like breathe a sigh of relief and they just dissipate. And they're gone. Green Mist, which is also a bit of a Dracula sort of element there, the Green Mist. Look at that. Do you know what? That is actually really, really impressive. And actually, and really unusual, you know, given the annals and the huge smorgasbord, another word I love to use, smorgasbord and plethora of imagery from these movies. That is actually quite unusual. Mainly because I've not seen it before. but I'm going to see it a lot because, as I always say, when a new canvas arrives, I tend to take it around with me wherever I go. And so in the mansion, I mean, I'm not gonna walk to the pub with this on, a kilt on, and carrying the shards of Narsil, and with this under my arm as well. Although, why not? Why not? Because I'll get drunk and leave it behind. That's why not. But in the house, I will walk around with this, and it'll go. So whatever room I'm in, I'll just, because the beauty of these, it's just, look, they're so light, but perfectly put together. You just put a little tack in the wall, and it goes ka-choom on the wall. Now you can see around me here, there's millions of these bastards, and they're everywhere. They're on every single wall, on every single hall, room, corridor, and all the floors of KILT Mansion. These things are all there. So I can take one off and go like, that's going in there. That will be in the bedroom tonight. Mrs. KILT-MAN is optional, doesn't need to be there. But so long as this is there, they're all right. The quest is still safe. It's still on course. How can you not love that? Now I'll be honest, I weren't sure whether it was going to be the first movie, Fellowship, Two Towers, or this. I kind of edged for this because of the whole reference to spirits from the past will save the day, because it's putting you straight in mind of these guys. Well, it did for me anyway. And but it still could have been a canvas of images from all three movies. It could have been a whole lot of stuff. But that, I'm super happy with that. You haven't got, I'm not being, derogatory, you haven't got dwarves, you haven't got like big-eared bloody pixie blokes, you haven't got little curly-headed blokes. That's me, I'm the little curly-headed bloke. You've got the King of Men, there he is. Although, I'll be honest, I prefer him as Strider. And although I've got the swords and all that, but the sword I love the broken sword. I'm pointing to it there, you've seen it. But I love Strider's sword, but he's Strider, he's a ranger, Dunedain, but he doesn't know his destiny really at that point, nor does anyone else. Unless you've read the book, obviously, and in this case you know exactly what's going to happen to him. But his sword there is a sword that could be used, Andoril, and many of the huge swords they're wielding in Lord of the Rings are just so impractical. You couldn't wield them, and you said you couldn't do anything. If you brought it up like that, its weight would topple you over backwards. So they're not practical swords. They're mythical, and they look fantastic on camera and in film, and they're classical, but they're not what anyone would ever have been using. Even like the William Wallace for Braveheart, the William Wallace sword, it's a ceremonial sword. They've got William Wallace's sword, and it's not fucking like that, that sword was bigger than Mel Gibson. It was taller than Mel Gibson. You can't fight with that. You can't. You simply cannot do it. You march in front of a ceremony with that sword, pointing to the heavens, and it was a ceremonial totem, basically. It wasn't meant for battle at all. But Lord of the Rings and all the designers, what was it? Oh, God, the names. I forgot the names now. All the guys who did all the work. The books behind me give all those details. I've forgotten the names now. But they did their research as to what the blades could be like, but they just exaggerated them. So your swords became longer, broader, and just bigger all round to make the film more visually exciting. And these are mythical heroes. So it makes perfect sense in that context. But there's no way you're going to go into battle with a fucking sword like that. It just ain't going to happen. In fact, to be honest, I would rather take that. That would be absolutely brilliant in battle. Fucking slicing it. You've got the balance is correct. The weight balance is right. I'm lying. It's not. It's massively hilt heavy. But if you've got the blade it'd just be like a short sword, or slightly shorter than Roman gladius, and the Greek Xiphos. But regular viewers know that my favourite sword of all time is the Greek Xiphos, the leaf-shaped blade, double-edged, and I've got them. And they're great. They are the best. If I had to go into battle with a blade, it would be the Greek Xiphos, beyond any shadow of a doubt. Not a great big bastard two-handed broadsword, not that at all. Because what are you going to do with that? It's built for smashing armour apart, not for taking an enemy down. But your Greek Xiphos, you can find, because you can still spin around. You could be like, what's his fucking name? Oh God, Brad Pitt. Achilles. And you could do all your pirouettes and that, like, and your acrobatic, athletic leaps and dives and rolls and tucks and jumps and all that. And you could pierce anywhere, but you find the gaps in the armour. It'd be brilliant. What am I talking about? Kentucky, you've got the one ring round your head. And do you know why he's got it round his head? It's because I banged all them nails into his bonce for Hellraiser. He was playing Pinhead the other day, and I can't get the cord round his head because of all the nails in his bonce. Sorry, mate, but you're still sporting the one ring. There you go. I wouldn't trust him with that quest either. Jesus. Every floozy on the go. Even orc ladies, he'd be there like a shot. Like a rat up a drain pipe. Look at this. That is fabulous. The green really sets it off, doesn't it? Obviously, that infamously, just not infamous, but beautiful logo and font for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The black background and great image of Vigo as Aragorn, and just this guy and this dripping, seeping, creepy green, this eerie greenness, and a kind of frosted sort of baseline as well. Steve, mate, that's fantastic. And I kind of was wondering when a Lord of the Rings canvas was going to turn up. I was. Because the two talk about it a lot, like, and you're dead correct. The ending packs such a wallop. Did we play it before? I can't remember now. But we're going to now. As a little sort of sayonara. Why has this thrown all the tracks out of order? Here we go, it's Into the West. Annie Lennox. Which is wonderful. This goes on for how long now? Shit, it goes on for 11 minutes. I mean, as he said, the ending carries one hell of an emotional wallop. Bilbo goes off to the Grey Havens, Gandalf's going there, the elves have all gone there. Our time's gone, it's now the time of men. And didn't that work out great? Oh God, listen. And this plays out over the end credits, but you've got like Frodo, as Gandalf says to him, and like Sam, oh God, Merry and Pippin are like, what? It's the old wound, Sam. That's what I said to Steve when I said, like, I know what it is, and the old wounds never heal, something like that. Meaning, like, I fucking know what this is. So he's got to go because he's been pierced by a Morgul blade. The Nazgul got him, And then we're on the cinema, and you've had the reunion, which blew you away. You've had so many endings of all the emotional impact, and then you get this when they finally he's gone off to the Grey Havens, and Sam goes back and he's got his buxom barmaid. He's finally married her and she's got a couple of kids as well to him. He's lost his best friend, and then you get that elegant elegiac final credit sequence, like the tapestries. And after all you've been on, the odyssey we've all been through, the 3 movies, huge, epic, and you could have just given the ring to the Eagles. Job done, you know. But no, we've got to fight spiders and armies and fucking all sorts of stuff. But after all of that, this emotional payoff, and you sit through all the credits. I pity the people that walk out during the credits. They're missing a huge part of the movie as well. You should sit there and at least pay respect to all those names, all the names in the credits, who've all played a part in bringing that vision to the screen and to you. Sit there. I'm going to read them all. It'd be very difficult to do so. But I love doing it. Like, you recognise certain names, stunt people, cinematographers, special effects people. You recognise people in the sound department, in the music department. And also you're listening to the score as well in a huge, perhaps overture. But we got this, which was truly, well, a hell of an emotional wallop. Here we go. Rosy cheek. All will turn to silver glass. Isn't it just so heart-wrenchingly beautiful? And then we're going to the final theme. Everything turns full circle. There and back again. That's what it's all about. Do we all do that? Do we all begin, journey out, do whatever, have your adventures, and then you come back home again? Or if you don't come back home again, you meet someone from your hometown, you meet people who will remind you of home, and you go back into the old ways. I know loads of people that have been to Australia to live out there, and one by one they've all come back. People go to America and come back again. What's that about? There and back again. You go and have your adventure, and it either doesn't work out, or it works out, and you're kind of like, yeah, I've done that now. I've achieved it. I did what I set out to do, and now, just to round out my life, I've got to go back home again. Because home is always the best place, is it not? You know? And the Shire, let's be honest, Who would want to live in the Shire? I know. New Zealand, of course, but it's basically built as J.R.R. Tolkien did. It's on the Cotswolds. Rolling meadowland, lush trees, little stone walls, little cottages, basking in eternal sunshine. That's kind of what he was painting. Orchards, making your own cider, your own whiskey as well, like, and it's just your own beer. For a second I thought Vigo was going to start singing again. As I said before, you don't get movie projects like this anymore. The only person I can think of who's doing it is Kevin Costner, and he's doing Horizon, which is a 4-part story in multiple sort of timelines from the American Civil War into the Indian Wars and beyond, shaping the the United States. And the trailer came out the other day, and I meant to do a big sort of talk about that, a reaction to it, because I think it looked absolutely amazing. Kevin Costner can do westerns, big, huge, sweeping, canvas, landscaped, and narrative westerns, doing brilliantly as well. Dances with Wolves, Open Range, awesome movies. You got The Postman as well, and I know he didn't direct Wyatt Earp, but Wyatt Earp was a huge sweeping elegiac take on Wyatt Earp. We all prefer Kurt Russell's Tombstone. I know we do, of course we do, but it's worth taking time out to look at Wyatt Earp, Kevin Costner one as well, because it's a different take on the same saga. And it's a beautiful movie, and the atmosphere is different, the mood is different. Yeah, I prefer the more action-packed Tombstone, but Costner knows and has this aptitude and feel for the Old West. I remember an interview with him when he was producing, directing, starring in Dances with Wolves, and he said, I've been to Little Bighorn, where Custer bit the dust. And he said, I sat down and I said, I've been here before. Now, regular viewers know that's exactly how I feel. I think I've been there. I think I was there. And I'm not. This is not just oh God, here's KILT-MAN again. He's drunk a bit of whiskey. I've said this for most of my life, but on the channel I've done it since day one, basically talking about Little Bighorn and Custer's Last Stand. And I have tunics, belts, I have tons of stuff, from the era, from the time, I have a belt buckle which was fished out. I've shown it to you. And with the belt as well, the belt was withered and ruined, but the belt buckle was still pretty good. And for the Little Bighorn and the Yellowstone River. And Yellowstone again, that's Kevin Costner, the big TV show Yellowstone. It's all connected. Connections. Oh, it's just unbelievable. But so I know what he's talking about, and I feel that affinity there. And I know that I can't possibly shuffle off this mortal coil without going there. Now, I've been out in America a couple of times, but I've never been to the site of Custer's Last Stand. Never. Well, that's a big sweeping build up there, wasn't it? But I do want to go. I can't go to the Pralnor Fields, can I? I can't go to, Sirith Ungol, and Osgiliath. Folks, I've waffled on too long. I'm going to show this again. Look at that. Steve, you played a blinder. That is actually amazing. It really is. And look at his face. in reality, I was never that impressed with the visual effect for these guys. It didn't look finished off to me. That sounds awful, I know, but they did so many great effects, visuals, and whatnot for these movies. And then he went on to King Kong, obviously, and that, like. But the one effect I thought was a bit iffy was these guys, and yet I loved the sight of them. I loved them being there, and they lent a whole new supernatural angle to it, which has always been in Tolkien's stuff. But they look better on this than they do in the movie. They do. Look at him. And again, it's all very Nordic, very Viking, sort of inspired stuff, and Anglo-Saxon, and God, every bit of ancient European history is in Lord of the Rings. Now, what? There you go again. King of Men coming at ya. Folks, I have been on with Shelby KILT-MAN. Please, in the meantime, in this ever quest fulfilling in between time, please keep it kilted, keep it caped, keep it Celtic, and I'm gonna see you all leaders. And Gothbag gun bollock, whatever his fucking name is, says, fuck you, you all bastards, you fucking men, hey, I fucking hate you, the orcs, it's our time. Not anymore, mate, not anymore, lad. Hobbits, nasty hobbitses.